We've seen how it's possible to use if statements to make an Excel spreadsheet interactive, allowing you to assess learners' skills. Now in this example, the first one, you put your answer in the white cell to get appropriate feedback. This works well if the answer is a unique number, but what about if the answer is a word? In the second question, we have an if statement that requires the right word put in as the answer and then gives you the right response. Now what happens if I'm a perfectly good scientist, but when it comes to spelling convection, I'm not a brilliant speller? This becomes a spelling test rather than a science test, and it can undermine confidence because they don't know if they've chosen the wrong term or if they've just spelt it wrongly. To get round this problem, I want to add a drop-down box so that the learner doesn't have to worry about spelling but can concentrate on the concepts instead. You add a drop-down box, technically called a combo box, from the developer menu. If you can't see the developer menu, you can add it through File and Options, Customize Ribbon. So there's the developer box. Tick it to have it showing, untick it if you don't want it to show. Once the developer tab is showing, click on it and then click the insert menu and then choose the combo box form control. The cursor changes. Click and drag it to form the combo box at an appropriate size and place on the spreadsheet. Right click the combo box and choose the format control to fill in the details that make it work. The key things that you need to fill in are the input range and the cell link. To make the exercise look attractive and uncluttered, we'll put the information that these require on a separate worksheet. So for the input range, first of all, if I click on here, I've put this on sheet 2. Now the input range is the list that the learners choose from. Make sure that that first item in the list is the instruction, not one of the answers, because that's the thing that will show by default. So I've selected my input list, and the cell link is where I want their answer to go. So again, I'll click on there, it shrinks down, I move my way through. I want their answer to go in the purple box here. And those are the two key bits you need. You can fiddle around with the number of drop-down lines if you want, put in 3D shading if you want. This now has given me my drop-down list. Let's look at how to make it mark. As a tutor, I know what the answer should be for this question. In this example, the third item in the list, convection, is the correct answer. So I add the value 3 into the actual answer row. I then use the if statement to see whether or not the answer the learner selected is the answer that they should have selected. However, as in the first video on if statements, I need to nest one statement inside the other because I have to check first if they've made a selection. If the answer selected is 1, then they haven't actually made a selection yet, because what's still showing on the combo box, as we can see here, is the instruction rather than one of the optional answers. So I need two parts to my if statement. I need to say if that value B10 is 1, then don't do anything because they haven't made a selection, then print a blank. But if they have made a selection, if B10 isn't 1, then I need to say have they selected the correct answer. If they selected 3, then I can give them positive feedback. Well done. Convection makes warm fluids and gases rise. If they have selected something other than 3 and other than 1, then they get an appropriate answer. Sorry, try again. What you see now is that if I can move this now into the appropriate place, I put it up here. Now when I make any selection, if I click on radiation and I go and have a look here, sorry, try again, that was the wrong answer. If I click convection, which is the right answer, I go back here and it's giving me the right answer. The problem is it's giving me the right answer in the wrong place. So I want that answer to be appearing here next to their selection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in as a formula. I'm going to say the value in that cell there equals the value in that cell there. And so if I've made no selection, it's blank. If I make the right selection, I get positive feedback. and if I've made the wrong selection I get negative feedback.